nature to me through experience of things that melodically work and are pleasing to me. So the first position of this F7th would be here. The second position would be in this area, still C minor 7th. The third position would be in this area of activity. And these all are condensed into melodic statements of personal use. And the fourth would be here. So here I've got an area of activity, and in this particular case, even though underneath the topic is F13, the key of the dominant 7th in F, I'm thinking of the same areas of activity, vertical activity, in 4 positions, solely based upon the C minor 7th chord. Since we've been talking about substitutions such as the minor 7th that I find comfortable against the dominant 7th, which again is one of the forms that is issued by the parental form being the diminished chord itself, we had 3 in a row, giving us 12 keys, 4 per cluster. In the sense of the cluster itself, the E, B flat, D flat, and G diminished, having 4 dominant 7 chords here, 4 here, and 4 here, 3 in a row, give us 12 keys. The next series, or the second position of these formations, would be the second position, or the second inversion of the first group, being as so. And there are 2 more to go after that, as so. Before we get to that, getting active on the guitar across the fingerboard, the higher we go, I would like to bring to your attention the importance of fluidity in the first series itself, which is 3 diminished chords in a row, giving us 12 keys, 4 keys in each of these stacks, as so. So that here, I'll change it all to, instead of dominant 7ths, minor 7ths. First, starting with B flat minor 7th for the E flat diminished, rather for the E flat dominant 7th, E minor 7th for the A 7th, G minor 7th for the C 7th, and D flat minor 7th for the, that would be the G flat 7th. And then we're going to push that up 1/2 step so that we have a stack of 12 keys. The first one being here, and I'll call them as dominant 7th forms. E dominant, E flat 7th would be here. The next one would be A 7th. The next one, C 7th. The next one, G flat 7th. Okay, you see I'm adding also phrasings and rhythmic forms that I know through experience in performance and on stage, certain things that infiltrate excitement in the crowd. We're putting out dimensions of powers, dynamics, and melodies at the same time. So these are things that we'll talk about at some point in this discussion. So that's the first 4 keys. Then if you raise those 1/2 step, that B flat minor 7th as a substitution for the E flat 7th becomes B minor 7th. We're still in this area. And here once again I'm taking it up and in ascent and in descent. Okay, the next one being A 7th is now going to be B flat 7th being an F minor 7th as the demonstration itself for a substitution. The first position being here. Or even here. One more time, descent, ascent. The next chord being an A flat minor seventh, which is the substitute for a D flat seventh. And that particular D flat seventh being here as an A flat minor seventh, this area is the area of activity. The next one being D minor seventh for a G seventh. And that particular G seventh would look like this is one of the bar structures talked about a moment ago. The D minor seventh now is in here. Okay, the next one will be C minor seventh for an F seventh. And that particular one, keep in mind that we now have we've covered 8 of the dominant seventh chords in this vertical stack out of 12 keys in the full inversions. So 3 inversions of the diminished chord, we're on the 3rd one now, which is in the 1st position. This one here, F sharp or G flat to F natural, gives us an F seventh. And the substitution for that is C minor seventh, and I'm using it here. Always think of phrases and choruses, lines that really flow and move accordingly to your own personal feelings, energy. That was on the F seventh, and it was the C minor seventh. The next one would be G flat minor seventh, and I'm using that G flat minor seventh as a B seventh, which would be coming in this particular case from this bar form, again from this 3rd diminished in a 3-fret row. By dropping the C to a B, it's a B seventh. And its alternating substitution, the B seventh is going to be a G flat minor seventh. G flat minor seventh, area of activity at random parts. The next one is going to be an A minor seventh, and that being for the following D seventh cluster in this position. Here's your D seventh, which again came from an E flat diminished. E flat on the 2nd string, down 1/2 step to a D makes it a D seventh. And for the substitution for that, I'm using one more time my own personal comfort, is the A minor seventh. Okay, the A minor seventh for the D seventh in that cluster. The next one is going to be E flat minor seventh, and that's for the A flat seventh. The final one in that group is another bar chord being here. Again, we have the diminished chord, 4-3-2-1 group as spoken about earlier. The A is on the top, 1/2 step down becomes the root of the A flat seventh. And I'm using as a substitution E flat minor seventh. Okay, that's all 12 keys solely in this area. Now if we think about that as we thought about these, the parental forms of these motions of activity through all the keys, we had this in mind, 12 keys. The next inversion of the first is here. The next inversion after that would be here, and the final one up here in the 4th. If we take the diminished chord, 4 inversions, and we turn them all into E flat sevenths. The first inversion would be here, as I've demonstrated. The second inversion would be here. The third inversion would be here. And the fourth inversion would be here. Okay, so now you see that I have the entire fingerboard of the guitar being in one key, and better yet as one topic of activity across itself. And we haven't talked about what I personally use to connect these activities, and in many cases intervallic use is very helpful. In my case it's chromatic in context. So that if I'm in ascent from, let's say, up here, or better yet from descent, I'm thinking about these areas of activity for the E flat seventh. The first one is here, from high up. The second one would be here. The third one would be here. And the fourth one would be here. So that if I wanted to connect these things at random, and of course in the midst of spontaneous combustion is extremely important, it would happen like so. So I'm thinking of E flat seventh, and for the substitution in my case it would be a B flat minor seventh.